I've got the Oliver Benchtop Edge Sander, so I'll go over the unboxing procedure. We'll get this thing cleaned up and set up, and I'll give you my initial impressions on this one. And there's the details on this one. It's the model 6301 that uses a 6x48 inch belt. Whoops. I always like this part. Yeah. There's a little bit of light machine oil from shipping to protect that cast iron surface, but it looks like that comes off just with a little mineral spirits. Yeah, I've cleaned up a few cast iron tools in my day, and that one, I'm pleased to report, cleans up quite easily. Nice. Then once the mineral spirits is dry, you can use something to prevent any rust or corrosion. I like this CRC 336. That seems to work pretty well on cast iron. Sometimes I'll just spray it on a paper towel or rag rather than the surface and apply it that way. Make sure to get it in your miter slot as well, which I was glad to see is a standard size miter slot. So we'll apply that, let it dry for a minute or two, and then we'll wipe it back. And that's sure looking good now. This allows you to position the belt either horizontally or vertically, and then to set it up, just set that for 90 degrees and lock in your handle. While this knob looks like it might have a rotary action, it actually doesn't work that way. Just slide it to the back to loosen it up, or flip it to the front. It has a cam action and it'll lock firmly in place. There really aren't that many parts to add, but this handle goes on to make it a little easier to tighten or loosen your belt, and that just taps in place. Set your belt roughly centered on the platen and tighten things up. There's an included stop bracket that you can use if you like to have that accessory to limit and keep you from going off the radius side of this sander. Good deal. There's even a contour sanding table that you can drop in place to work that curved side of the belt, and a couple of knobs that lock things in place for you. So I really like this accessory. And heck, this one even comes with its own small miter gauge, which can be really handy for sanding end grain. And again, the model number here is the Oliver 6301, and I'll have links for you down in the description if you want to do a little research on your own. Like any edge sander, just run it for a few seconds and then check your tracking. The tracking adjustment is on the left side of the machine up top, and it actually comes with this special tool. Looks like a screwdriver with a blank tip, and that's actually used to rotate this screw for tracking. The thing that threw me on this was this little jam nut. It doesn't loosen the way that you think it would. It actually loosens by turning it towards the front of the machine like so. So loosen that up a bit and then make adjustments. Roll this screw towards the back of the machine to increase the height of the belt, or pull it towards you for the opposite. And then once you have it where you want it, just go ahead and lock in that jam nut by turning that nut backwards, and use a pair of pliers to snug that up a bit, and you should be good. Now that steel platen is coated with graphite to reduce friction, but the first time you run your machine you will notice some sparkles around the bench, but that is normal and to be expected. I'm just going to test this with a shop vac, but if I need to I can always jump up to my larger dust collector. It just uses a 2.5 inch fitting on that, and outside diameter is about 2 9/16, so it'll definitely fit a flex hose, but you might have to warm the hose up with a hairdryer or heat gun to get that on. I've been using my little dust separator setup far more than I ever thought I would, so I'll put the how-to video down in the description if you want to build one of those yourself. So that makes quick work of edge sanding, and I'm really excited to use this on some of my cabinet doors because that's a long job sanding out the edges of cabinet doors, and this tool will certainly help. So it works pretty nice for the basic stuff, but you can also add an accessory table that'll let you do contour sanding. So I'm hopeful that this will not only replace my edge sander but also my spindle sander. For that, just remove your end stop and your dust collection shroud. I'm kind of paranoid about those screws contacting the sanding belt, so I added a couple washers just to be safe. And that's a 3/4 horse motor running at 3420 RPM. It's a totally enclosed fan-cooled motor. It's more like something you'd find on a bandsaw than just a sander, so I was impressed with that. So just drop that accessory table in place and tighten it up with 2 knobs. Now you can position that anywhere along the height of the belt, so that's kind of convenient. There we go. So that does a really nice job sanding those inside curves. And while the 6301 doesn't oscillate, it has another means to take full advantage of the width of your belt. So this one uses a 6x48 abrasive, so there's a lot of real estate there. And to make use of that, you can actually just raise and lower this cast iron table. Just 2 locking knobs inside, and you can raise and lower that as needed. And just like that, you've exposed a fresh edge on your belt for your next project. And you can actually sand in the vertical or horizontal orientation with that quick lock lever. I don't use it like this much, but it's nice to know that that's an option. And once you have it where you want it, just lock that knob in. It's a tool-free adjustment. It's kind of a cam action knob. Works great. So this 6301 is kind of surprising because yes, it is a benchtop model, but it's actually pretty heavy duty as well. So it would certainly be a perfect fit for a hobby shop, but it could also do double duty in a cabinet shop as well. So this thing's a pretty nice edge sander, and it's been a big upgrade for me.